Hello, this is the Renaissance Nikolai White, and you're watching the Three Count Podcast. And don't forget, drink more water.
I'm in fashion, roll with cold passion.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. That's right, by now, this is, over 200 and something episodes. You'll also be sitting with me. I am your Sherpa, but like every good Sherpa, you gotta have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more consistent than you can. That's why it's never about me, it's about who's entering the ring. And who's entering the ring today? You see him right next to me. He comes to us from EWE, CZW, VXS, and Project Code Breaker. He is the Renaissance man, Nikolai White.
How's it going? Hello. Oh, you got the last promotion wrong. It's
I did.
Project Codename Wrestling, but it's okay.
I did.
It's
as
okay.
soon as I was like, damn it. I was like, I'm never gonna be invited to their place. You're gonna be
But I move weight there. You could come. You be all right.
Bet, man. Yo, so I know like you and Chaz actually are like really, really tight. You guys having conversations, and I was like, yo, let me add him up, let me talk to him, let's see what's going on. And then I was like,
shout out to him. That's my brother.
Yeah, crazy enough, Chaz is the other half of this podcast. Like he runs our debate show. So he runs the debate show. I take care of the interview show, but I was like, yo, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
But yo, first question I'm gonna ask off the jump. Who is Nikolai White?
Who is Nikolai White? I am a kid who grew up in Harlem, New York, January 26, 1996. Beautiful baby came out, and he was born to be a star, and now I'm here. Now I am the Renaissance. I take over any type of aspect of entertainment, which is dancing, music, modeling, and now the world of professional wrestling. And I got that in the palm of my hand.
Listen, I'm not going to say that you probably shouldn't say the word takeover, but I hear that those four guys are always looking for someone who wants to smoke. So,
Oh, no, those my guys, bro. Those Those are my guys. We have no beef, man.
You say that now, and then Jay Bougie gonna hear this interview. He's gonna be like, "Oh, word, Nikolai said that he's the takeover now." Okay, cool. Let's have this conversation.
Come on, you can't be on the instigator. Come on, you can't be doing that, man. You can't be doing that.
Listen, right now,
Yeah.
I know that the boys of Pure Ignorance is getting ready to run with Takeover right now. Like at the recording of this, they haven't yet had their match. When this post, they will, and then we'll have results for that one. But yeah, so I definitely know like Takeover versus Pure Ignorance is definitely going to be a thing. I want to see how that plays out at Outbreak. So I definitely can't wait to see those guys all throw hands.
I'm excited for all those guys, especially I met two of those guys. Well, I met Chaz a long time ago. This was back in 2015. We was doing our own stuff, and but we kind of lived in different states, and we kind of branched out and we did our own thing. I met Takeover like a year ago, a month, like last year, like early last year. I met PJ Savage and Bougie back when we did Project Codename Wrestling. And all those guys, I'm proud of them. I'm glad they actually working with each other. Great workers too.
Yeah, but how did you get into the sport?
I got into the sport very. I like telling the story. How I got into wrestling was I was borrowing like tapes from my cousins, and one night I popped in a tape. It was the VCR days, right? I popped in the tape, and it was like an episode of Raw tape. And it was like two girls fighting. I'm like, what is this? Then the next match came, and I was just hooked. And I never saw that type of wrestling like years later, later on in a video game. I was like, yo, they have a video game for this? Like, so intrigued by it. And then I eventually we had cable in the house, and then we finally saw like wrestling, and I was hooked ever since. And then like a couple of guys I saw on YouTube, they was doing backyard wrestling, where I live in New York. It was like part of Lower East Side, and I went to their shows. I was like, oh, I'm seeing live wrestling, and they actually doing the moves really, really well. And then I caught an aspect of what goes behind the scenes, and I saw the guys practicing their moves. And so when I saw that, that's when I was like, I was 13. That's when I was like, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear like everybody's journeys, especially when they talk about the video game aspect of like watching and playing wrestling,
Mhm.
like on
Mhm.
the video games. Because I remember like even for me, like I was like a Nintendo kid, right? Like
Yeah.
we were like old school Nintendo,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
getting into Super
Mario,
Nintendo.
Mario Kart, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean we're talking like when like pro wrestling was a game, and like there
Mhm.
was nobody that everybody was looking like somebody, but nobody was somebody. And then you
Mhm.
had like WWF come out with like the arcade game. And you had like everybody there, but it was just crazy. And then like you get to thinking about like the 64 days and the PlayStation ones, and we're like, dude, look how real the graphics look. And we look at it now, we're like, what was wrong with us? Everything's all in blocks, and we're like, this is so cool. Look how
Yeah.
real this looks. And we're like, yo, now it's just ridiculous.
I'm not gonna lie, like some of the old games, like especially from like PlayStation 2, like SmackDown vs. the World 2006 still look great to me.
Oh yeah.
Like the graphics, like it still, I feel like it still fits from modern day a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still one of those like here comes the pain days where I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, let me get people on top of the Hell in a Cell and just like throw them off. That's like the
Mm.
greatest of all time. Yeah, so it's crazy to think about like how things have changed and how the games have aspect, or even how much the games have influenced people now into like the way that they want to do their move sets and stuff. So it's always been intriguing to me to like see like the growth of wrestling through the gaming community as well as just like television.
Mhm. Mhm. I totally agree with that.
Yo, so then let's let me ask this question. You've been in the biz now. What's the worst bump you've taken?
Oh, okay. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. The worst bump I took. All right, this was back in 2018. Uh, I was going for like a springboard drop kick, and the dude was on the apron. So I was trying to go for like a Jericho type drop kick, right? So I go for it. I land, but the ring had like the wood kind of upwards, and my elbow landed right on it,
Mm.
right? But like for months, it was just like getting this like this weird pain. But luckily, I wasn't badly injured. I still kept working and stuff like that. So yeah.
It's always like the weird like landings that you have
Yeah.
that like always like mess you up like really bad, right? Like
It'd be the simplest like move you take, and your knee goes out. Like
yeah.
I went for like you go for a leapfrog and it goes your knee completely goes out. I heard stories like that.
Well, I had one. I had like the I was doing a back body drop, and I had a person on the outside of the ring, and it was
Mhm.
on a low boy. And as we were coming down, like I left my elbow kind of out, and I didn't get my arm out fast enough. So as we came down, I dropped him, and his body weight hit. But it was on me. It wasn't like obviously it's
Yeah.
not on him at that point. But I left my arm, and then like my body fell over, and I just hyperextended my elbow, and just like my whole hand went numb. And
Uh.
yeah, I ended up wrestling for like another like 10 minutes with it, which
Mhm.
like one, why? But two,
Yeah.
I was like
Did you have to
I
take?
knew was
Did you
that
have to like? Did you have to like to take time off after that match?
no, actually I think I was in the ring like the next week.
Okay.
Like 'cause
Okay.
what ended up happening like middle of the match, like I started like I lost like I had like a warm sensation, like tingling all into my hands and stuff, my hand. And then like about midway through the match, like midway in that 10 minutes, like 5 minutes later, like I was like making a fist and I was like, okay, so there's no real nerve damage. Let's just go. We'll just
Mhm.
go until we can't go. And
Mhm.
yeah, I was like, I definitely, you learn lessons. Like, you're like, yeah, maybe I should do that next time. Or maybe next time I'll just move my arm out the way like you're supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. Because I never did that drop kick ever again. So like, not doing that again.
It was funny because I've done that move numerous times, but like on, like either like on a tall boy or on a medium ring. and just successfully like been able to handle it. And it just happened to be on this one time on this low boy, man. Like I just did not move my arm out the way, and I was like, "That's what I get. That's what I get for that."
Yeah.
But man, listen, I know like you probably go out, you have like different shows and stuff that you get attached to, but I gotta know, man, what's the worst? Or no, I'm not sorry, not the worst. What's your post-match meal / post-match snack that you gotta have?
Post match meal, post night snack. Obviously, I gotta have a bottle of water. Obviously, usually, oh no, because I wrestle a lot in the Jersey area and like the tri-state area, and we go to Wawa's. Wawa's is the best place for wrestlers. I have a actually like a acronym for Wawa's. It's like where all wrestlers is at. Where all wrestlers at.
Yeah,
Because all the wrestlers go to Wawa's and we just get a bunch of stuff. I just get like the little chicken bites, stuff like that, or a sandwich, pizza, whatever goes. Or back in the days where you just starting out and you're not really was getting paid and you just get paid a handshake and a hot dog, you get a hot dog. So after the match. So yeah.
bet, man. Yeah, I like Wawa's. I'm always like a Sheetz kind of person myself too, and
Hmm.
I'm in the Maryland area and have to travel up to Jersey a lot. Like whether I'm at like IWA or I'm at HWT, Invictus, or
Hmm.
even if I go to like I've done hit some other places up all through like the Jersey area, but it's like when I'm there, it's always like a lot of fun to just like try to see if I can find a place like I've never been to. Like there was this I forget the name of this like Mexican restaurant, but my trainer and I and a couple of the other guys, we all went and we just had a ball with those guys and just
Hmm.
trying. Yeah, they had these Mondo burritos, dude. They were like yay
Yeah.
big, they're like yay thick, man. It was like this is heaven on earth, and they were like
Yeah.
super cheap. And I was like, how have I never heard of this spot before? And then I can't remember it, but I could talk about the burritos all day because they were
Yeah. Yeah.
delicious.
Not for like Mexican food for me is like the best go to for me. That's like a go to for me. Like I'm looking for tacos. Like every time I'm at the match, oh I want tacos. Like fuck everything else.
Yeah, so it's weird, man. I remember like being in the military and like there would be those nights where we'd be like in the club all night. I don't think I've ever said this like on the air, but this would be like whatever. So yeah, but we used to go to like Jack in the Box at like 2 o'clock in the morning,
Mhm.
and you could get so much food for like $7, like deep fried tacos for days.
Wow. I won't go that far. I don't know about the deep fried, but like
Yeah, but you
that sounds
haven't
awesome though.
lived until you've had a deep fried taco.
I'm a pass on that. I'm a pass on that. I'm not. That's a little excessive to me.
Oh, you say that, but our viewers and listeners in California,
Yeah.
they know how it hits the spot. It's be a joint. Yo, all right, man.
All
Well,
right.
what's one of the hardest lessons that you've had to learn in the business?
The hardest lessons. You gotta learn patience. I think patience is like the biggest challenge in my career because I'm always wanting to have like that big moment for me. You know, like that certain stage in your career you want to be at, and I realized there's a process so you have to go through that. I was trying to go like a Leo Rush route, but everybody has different like walks of life, you know, because he made it within like 2 or 3 years. Like he was in the business within 2 or 3 years. So I envision myself for that, but for me, I gotta go for a different route for me. And I like this route. Like I like it how slow and steady for me it is, you know. And I know I'm gonna get to that point, you know. But patience is the key. And I think that's a message for a lot of young wrestlers. If you think you want that lavish um, rock star life, it's not gonna come like that. It's gonna be a process. You know, it's gonna you're gonna have to go through the journey. It's a journey.
Yeah, the one thing like I have to remind like so like even I'm like I'll be honest, I'm like way older in
Hmm.
this game, but I'm also like way young in this game at the same
Hmm.
time. And I have to remind guys like all the time, like listen, and girls, like I have to remind both people that listen, like we're going through this journey, and it is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. Not everybody's gonna
Hmm.
be Usain Bolt and get to the top real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody has to run those long distances and work for those long distances, and you can't quit. Like that's just the end statement. Like that's the
Yeah,
end game.
yeah.
And I know even on myself, like this journey itself, like I've thought about like just hanging it up like 3 different times, and I've only been doing it
Uh-huh.
for just
Uh-huh.
under 2 years.
Uh-huh.
But
I've
yeah,
been
it's
through
one of
that.
it's tough though, because like sometimes you're just like you run into an injury or maybe a national shutdown because COVID happens, or maybe you just hit a wall and you're just like, I
Hmm.
don't think I'm meant to do this. And it's so weird to like think that you're like, man, I want to stop now because I just
Hmm.
think that these are all things that are foretelling to me. And you can remember like at the road to glory was never meant to be a smooth one. So you have to be able to
Hmm.
handle all the rocks in the road. Otherwise, what's the point of the journey?
Exactly. Exactly. I totally
So
agree with that. Yeah.
so what kind of advice would you give to upcoming wrestlers?
Um, First, you gotta have confidence. That's one thing. Always be consistent. Find who you want to be. Like who is why people find a reason why people should care about you. Um, Always that's always first. Eat well, obviously, and if you want to be smooth like me, drink more water.
I like that. Those are all really good points. I
Hmm.
think it's one thing too, like you hit it right on the head. Like you gotta have confidence, and confidence is something that you're gonna build up like over time. Like it's
Hmm.
not something that you're just gonna walk into. Like
Yeah,
a lot of people can walk into the industry and be like, "Hey, yo, this is who I am, and I'm gonna be that person." But
I guess I want to say like be content or be um be committed. You gotta be commit to the sport basically. Like, you gotta
yeah,
be real committed. You gonna hurt yourself probably like 1,000 times. You're gonna be sore. You're like you gotta take that, and it's all about commitment basically. Yeah.
I remember we just had so at the place that I train at, we just had a new
Mhm.
kid start, and he was just so. And I told him I was like, listen, man, we've had so many guys come through here and talk this big game, and they've all fell. I was
Mhm.
like, so if you're gonna come tell me you're like, man, I'm gonna do this for the next 12 years, and you haven't taken a bump yet, you might want to just pump the brakes. And sure enough, man, he took the first bump and he was like, I don't know if this is for me. I was like, nah, nah, nah,
Mhm.
nah, man. We said 10, 12 years. We're committed. That's the contract we
Mhm.
signed. You got to stick with
Mhm.
it now. And
Uh-huh.
he took like, I think, and we only showed him like, you showed him how to do back bump, face bumps, flip bump, handstand bumps, and how to run the ropes. That was it. There was
Mhm.
nothing else that we taught him. And that's all we did for, I think, for like 2.5 hours. And like, man, my man was dead. He's like, I think I'm going to throw up. I was like, dude, we haven't even
Mhm.
got to the hard part yet. This is just the basic.
Mhm.
And I think people forget that like the building blocks are like massive, but they do what I want to circle back with this. It does build confidence because if you know how to
Mhm.
take your bumps properly, if somebody fucks up a move, you can at least save yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So last but not least, you've been in a couple different locker rooms, so I just need to know one do and one don't of the locker room.
One do. Shake everybody's hand. One don't. Don't think that everybody knows you. Some people forget. So always introduce yourself. Always.
Yes,
Yeah.
always introduce yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's just nice to be nice. Like it doesn't take
Exactly. Like
any effort.
it's common courtesy. Like you acknowledging the person that you exist. You know, like you being acknowledged in the room, and I always had that in the back of my mind. Yeah. Where everywhere I go, you know, it doesn't have to be after locker room. I think that's just life.
I got you.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
funny because like a lot of people that I have on the podcast, like I meet them for the first time, like in person, and we've already had like these crazy conversations, and then I go meet him for the first time. I'm like, hey, what's up? And it's just a nice conversation. And even people who I've never met, like just going through and just having conversations with them and stuff like that, and tell them like, hey, listen, you should come on our podcast, come hang out with us, talk with us. You'll see it's a good time. And then you have all these other people who come out and vouch because they're like, yeah, we have great times. He's such a nice person, or we have so much fun with him, and blah 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 blah. So then they come on the podcast, and then I go and meet with them and stuff. So it's always fun just to be nice because you never know what connections that person is gonna have.
Yeah.
It was it was one thing. I was talking with another person too, and I was like, it's insane to think that everybody in the business, right? Everybody, I don't care if you're a day oneer or you're 30 years in the business, you're always one link away from somebody else that could have a bigger impact on you. So I'm always like, just be kind. Just be kind.
It's very simple. It's not hard. Don't cost a thing. Like
all right. Well, those are all my heavy hitting questions, but we do got to get into the second best segment of the 3 Count podcast. You're probably trying to figure out what the first is, and that is the Red Dogs Power Rankings that you can find every Sunday on our debate show. But this is the 3 Count podcast, 10 count questions, and Mr. Renaissance. This is how it works. I'm gonna fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast, and whatever your answer is,
I'm kind of nervous. So, okay.
Yeah. Whatever your answer is, that's your answer.
Okay.
So we're gonna put on the imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing! And in the words of Mike Goldberg, here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Favorite movie?
Rush Hour 2.
I like it. Sonic or Mario?
Mario.
Favorite cartoon?
Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Let's go. Yes. So first time I've heard that on the show. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Favorite
100%.
actor?
Favorite actor? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay. Android or Apple?
Android. I don't care. I have an iPhone, but Android.
Favorite
podcast screens. Favorite podcast? I don't have one right now, to be honest. But I'm gonna say no. I'm bugging. Dirty Hills podcast.
Hey,
Dirty Hills podcast.
Dirty Hills, man. Yo, we've had
Dirty
him on
Hills
the show too.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Dirty Hills. Hey, nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
El Johnny Santos.
Bet. And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this podcast: favorite curse word?
Fuck.
I mean, is there any other word to really choose?
You want me?
The F word is the best word. That's how it works.
Nah. Fuck is my. I say fuck a lot, but really it's the N word. But I don't think N word is a curse word. Nah, we don't count that.
That is not, you know what's crazy is that you saying that is not the first time that I've heard someone say that. But the N word is not a curse word.
Yeah, it's not really a curse word.
That
it's a tier of endearment. It's the GA1 version.
I got you. But listen, I can't say either word. So I'm not playing on the
Yeah.
I'm not even dancing with it. Chad's gonna get a kick out of this too. But yo, listen, those are all my questions that I do have. But the last thing I just need is for you to let all of our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter. That's Nicholi White 777. Also, that's my Instagram with an underscore. You can find my music too on YouTube. Search my name, Nikolai. Upcoming shows, July 16, I got Inferno Fight Club. I'm going against Desmond Cole, July 16. July 23rd, I got Shadow Wrestling Alliance. And August 6th is Summer Clash for Project Codename Wrestling. Tickets and details, you just hit me up on my socials. Thank you.
Bet. Well, there you go. He gave you all the handles. He let you know where you can find him and where he's going to be at. So what does that mean? It's like every part of a wrestling match. We got to take this home because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering Ring. And like I said, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you out this mountain called wrestling. But like every good Sherpa, you got to have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering. You see him right next to me, the Renaissance man himself, Nikolai White. And you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you subscribe to this channel, you follow us on all of our social media platforms, you put likes, you put comments, you share them with your friends, or you're really just waiting for this episode to end, waiting for the outro, and then you're choosing another episode to listen to. Peace. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3countpod, give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3Count Pod. Please, go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.